So with the level of detail, this is a very short section here, but just want to make sure it's clear about how things are presented. So the control of detail is important in writing. Too much detail may cloud the main point, while not enough detail may overgeneralize and not be clear. Too much detail may also make the reader think minor points are more important than they actually are, and the suppression of key details may leave holes in the coherence of what is intended to be conveyed. So let me give an example of this. So say you're writing a summary about one of the papers that you're supposed to summarize in one of your classes. You know, the teacher will tell you, or the professor will tell you to write a summary, and you don't want to put in too much detail, but you want to make sure in the summary that you have the main points there. Now, if you put in too much detail in the summary, the person that reads the summary is going to think that those detail points are more important than they actually may be. So that's kind of, tokenistic approach to falsely tokenistic in saying that like these points are important, but you actually get confused because you put the details in when they actually shouldn't be there. So they might confuse the person that's reading your summary. But then again, if you are writing a summary for a class and you don't put any detail in it and it's just way too general, this won't lead them along the right path, and they may not get any of the main points in that summary that you're trying to write. Say you're explaining, let's go back to the Prius model. Say you're explaining the Prius, all right? So you want to talk a little bit about, if you give a summary of a Prius, maybe you want to talk about, ride, talk about speed, maybe you want to talk about weight, maybe you want to talk about, obviously, gas efficiency. But say you just focus on gas efficiency, That's the main thing. Okay, well, the Prius is a great car because you get, 48 miles to the gallon, and you can go 300,000 miles on it. Right now with the gas prices at $2.20 a gallon or something, you can fill it up for $20, $22, and you can go 500 miles. If you make that your main point there, and you're supposed to summarize the entire Prius, given too much detail about just the gas consumption, even though it may be the reason why someone buys the car, doesn't give justice to the other parts of the car, which I mentioned before, like the ride or the weight or the distribution or the headroom in the back, for example. So that's an example of level of detail.